Good morning. Today we are going to be taking some notes about news literacy. You will be able to find those notes in the assignment on the Google Classroom underneath your classwork tab labeled CE Notes 914. Click on it and you can access the slides with the attached notes. Do not forget that when you look at the slides, you need to be filling in the red text boxes by clicking on them and then typing in the appropriate word. Okay. And with that, we will go ahead and start. So again, we're going to be talking about news literacy and what exactly it is. News literacy is the ability to use critical thinking skills to judge the reliability and credibility of news reports, whether they come via print, television, the internet, or social media. In the information age, you are in charge of determining what is reliable and what is not. Reliable information is actionable. It allows news consumers, you, or anybody that reads or watches the news, to make a decision, take action, or share responsibility with others. So why is it your responsibility? Why isn't anybody going to tell you? Well, that's because there are 4 problems with news media today that can often make it hard to tell the truth from fiction. Speed versus accuracy, information overload, blurring of the lines, and overcoming bias. Speed versus accuracy. What this means is that there's always a rush in news media to be the first to get the news to viewers, and that has the risk of making mistakes. News stories should provide accurate and verifiable information that you can test to see if it is true, information that you can verify on other sites. Any sources that they use should be credited and cited or listed somewhere. Most often you will see them listed at the bottom. Quotes without attributions, facts that you cannot verify with a quick internet search, and claims that have no proof should be a warning when reading or viewing the news. If they don't list where they got it from, they don't tell you who said the quote, that should be your clue that this might not be a verified piece of information or an accurate news story. For example, a couple years ago, this is a news article from a couple years ago, Disney reported that they were already looking to CGI Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, into future Star Wars films after she died. The news media later came out and had to say that it is not going to be doing that. So because the newspaper article was so excited to report this and quick to report this, they were not able to check that it was accurate. So you have to make sure that you are the one that's checking if the information is accurate and verifiable. Information overload, another problem. The average American sees and hears 100,000 words per day outside of work or school. The average social media user gets more than 250 links per day. The information overload can make people feel anxious and powerless. And also, social media is not used to give you accurate information. The purpose is to capture your attention. So is it always reliable? It's important to know the source of what you read. Make sure that the source is legitimate, whether a reliable network or expert, and we'll be going over how to check that tomorrow. Deception can come in many forms. False sources, experts, institutions, and bots all act to gain your trust. Bots are computer codes acting in social media networks, and they look like real users. They can act as users by liking, friending, following, posting, and commenting based on code that people write. They also can be used to follow your actions online and suggest things like products or services based on your behavior. Don't be fooled by sneaky ads and quizzes that just mine for your personal information or opinion pieces pretending to be fair and balanced reporting. The third problem is blurring the lines. There are now more cell phones than citizens in the United States. Of those, the majority are smartphones with cameras and internet connection. This affects the news that we see every day. Everyone feels they can be a journalist, and journalists feel like they can find photos of everything that happens. Photos and videos give us a powerful form of verification. It's easy for us to see if something is true if we look at a photo or see a video of something happen. However, we can also use manipulation tools to make it easy to document a moment that never actually happened. For example, in 2017, after Hurricane Harvey, a journalist tweeted a photo that showed a shark on the freeway in Houston, Texas. This photo was distorted and manipulated, so it wasn't actually true, but as you can see, it was retweeted almost 50,000 times and liked by almost 70,000 people. So many believed that it was true. Content must clearly communicate its purpose, especially when it's not a news article. For example, that tweet that we just looked at, the journalist was tweeting it as a joke, but didn't state that. So again, many people thought that it was true. Be aware of mirror sites. It's not hard to make your own website, and it's not hard to make a mirror or copy of real news websites to post deceptive or false content. At first glance, these sites look and feel like the real thing. These imposter stories and pages are spread quickly on social media, where many readers fail to check the details before posting. You also need to be aware of fake fame. You can buy followers rather than work to earn them. For example, a young entrepreneur or businessman purchased 50,000 Twitter followers to make his social media consulting company look like it was famous and successful. It won him additional attention and some business because they believed he had a large and influential following. But most of his followers were bots, and then he had to explain how he became unpopular so quickly. This was also considered a crime in his business. You guys also might be familiar with this video about the ping pong and the knife throwing. This video got over 2 million views on YouTube. But unfortunately, it was fake. The last problem, overcoming bias. Bias occurs when you favor some ideas or people over others. News stories should not show bias in the coverage of any event or topic. If there are multiple sides of the story, they should be provided. Only telling one side of the story is one way people try to mislead. Good opinion pieces or news stories give you both sides and then argue for one or the other. Watch out for bot armies. Bots of armies can be coded to read and engage with social media content. Pushing these armies to support or oppose something or someone in big enough numbers can cause what's considered trending, and things that are trending, even if untrue, can be picked up by other news outlets. Bully bots can be used to get into online confrontations, stirring up anger between two opinions on an issue, even when one side is just a code. You also need to check your own bias. Humans tend to seek out information that confirms our beliefs and to deny the credibility of evidence that disagrees with what we believe or think we already know. For example, if you were a supporter of Hillary Clinton in 2016, this website would cater to your own personal bias. As it says, you're with her, and you can see that she is winning, okay? And it does not show any information about Trump or what actually happened on the Republican side. So this site might not address both sides. So you need to make sure that you check not only the website's bias, but your own. We will work to build these skills over the course of this trimester. Once you're able to judge each source's accuracy, transparency, trustworthiness, and impartiality, you will be a responsible digital citizen in the information era.